here. I should probably open it. Hold on. From here. Hold on. God, I'm kind of blanking. I'm sorry. If you can hear me. I'm blanking. It's been so long. I forget how to do this stuff. There I am. Oh, I appear to be moving as well. Okay, good. Hello. How are we? I've been, toying with the idea of making this declaration, if you will. And I've reached a point where I don't know. I just need to talk about it. I need to talk about it out loud. So, being black-pilled is a term that I've been hearing since, maybe 2018? I never actually knew what it was. I don't subscribe to the red pill, blue pill thing because, I mean, I get the reference and whatever, but it seems like everything about all of this is set up as a red versus blue kind of thing, and whatever. But apparently, to be black-pilled is to be basically thrown into depression and complete disillusionment with life in general. And I'm finding myself there lately. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with the entire state of the world. Like, I have completely lost the will to fucking live. Not in a suicidal way, because I would never, ever. But I'm so over it. I'm so over it all. Everything. Just, things are clearly spiraling really hard. How do you deal with it? What do you do? I have no drive. I have no motivation. I'm just over it. I wonder if other people further in the past who were my age now, like other 46-year-olds in 1975, I wonder if they felt like this. Is this a menopausal thing? Or is it really a black pill event? Is it really? I don't even know. I don't even know. But I'll tell you what, it is pretty messed up out there. And I don't even want to leave the house anymore. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to have to deal with people. I don't want to have to. But then you stay home and what do? You're on the internet and you're absorbing all of the same bullshit just from the comfort of your own home in your pajamas. I remember many years ago when I don't know, I wasn't just first making a spiritual awakening because I've been a pretty in touch person my whole life. But I shifted pretty hard back around 2009, maybe. And God, I just lost my freaking point. Flew right out of my freaking head. Oh, one of the first steps into consciousness, like true consciousness, that I was experiencing was learning about the law of attraction. And I remember being asked if money wasn't an option, if it was not an obstacle in any way, and you could do or be anything, what would that be? And to this day, 16 years later, I still don't have an answer to that. I don't want to be or do anything. I could go to school for something, or open a business, or do anything. I could literally do anything. I don't want to do anything. No desire, no drive. I have no desire to put my feet further into this freaking system, to have to deal with people. But I'm lonely and I'm bored. But I'm disillusioned and depressed and hate the idea of going on this way. But what do you do? So that's where I'm at. And I figure I can't be the only person that feels that way. But everything is just so distasteful and uncomfortable. I can't walk through any stores without seeing, 3/8 of every female's body. All the boys look so feminized. Birth rates are way down. We're like gonna go extinct. The entire world right now is basically an extinction level event for humans. I mean, never mind that everybody's gay and it's trendy to be gay. I remember when my kids were in school, in middle school, I'm talking 12 and 13 years old. And my son would come home and tell me that there were girls that would make out with each other in the cafeteria during lunchtime because they knew it made the boys want them. It was like 2013, and that was when it was becoming a trendy thing to be bi. Everybody was suddenly bi. I remember a lot of bi when I was coming out of high school in like 97, 98, 99, right in there. It seemed to really start to fire off. And then it just like snowballed. I live in a red state, Ohio. Super red. Everybody is rednecked and armed and super redneck state. And our stupid governor, who is the most gigantic asshat in the world, blocked the bill that would stop the transing of children before they're 18. Said he thought it was best to leave it up to the parents and the children to decide for themselves. That's the craziest fucking thing. And then you can't, I think, Ohio, you have to get an abortion before you're 6 or 9 weeks along. I can't remember which. But we had a situation in our extended family where two people were breaking up and the female was not our family. And we were worried because she was beyond the point of being able to get an abortion in Ohio. But we live literally 15 miles from the Pennsylvania line. And in Pennsylvania, you can go nuts. So all she'd have to do is just drive next door. How does it make sense that this is where humanity is? And you know, it's weird because I don't understand how I can feel so downtrodden over all of this crap, but still I can work up a very strong feeling of gratitude for being alive, for being part of a family and having friends and the beauty that is in the world. My husband dug me a pond in my backyard, and autumn is just so amazing. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful, just doesn't, it's a completely inept word to describe the way I feel when I'm looking out my back window, out of my kitchen, at my pond, and all the leaves are changing, and some of the leaves are falling, and there's deer that are just walking by like they own the place. I could not love that more. I couldn't love my home more, and my property and my family. I just am absolutely bursting with love and gratitude. And at the exact same time, I want to scream and climb in a hole and die. How does that work? What is that? You'll have to excuse me. I'm old now and I can't read my screen or the crap. I'm old with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects my eyes, so I keep exercising my eyes so they're not getting any worse, but it's hard to make them better. My volume is very low. I'm sorry. I will try to shout because it's just there. There's nothing I can do about that. I keep telling myself this too shall pass. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate, well, I appreciate the solidarity, and I'm sorry that you feel that way too, because it really freaking sucks. Thank you. It is good to be here. I I never show up because I just don't have anything engaging. But I just felt like I needed to blah. I can't even get back into that. I've thought about it. Like, well, maybe I can just get back into regularly going online and talking about things the way I used to, but I don't want to be. There's enough people on the freaking internet that every single time a video comes up, they're bitching about something that's going on out there. I don't want to be one of those. But I'm finding it very hard to focus on much else. I need to do something though. So, we went on vacation. We went on vacation. I'll tell you about my vacation. My husband, gotta love him, I have always wanted to see the United States, but I've not got much further than Ohio and Pennsylvania. A tiny sliver of New York a couple of times where we didn't go to do anything. Like my husband used to tow, and there was a couple times that he had to tow to lower New York. So I would hop along. So I have been in New York, but I haven't done anything in New York. And I wanted to go across the United States, but I will not sleep in a motel. I don't want to sleep on chemicalized sheets or dirty sheets or cum stains or, and the noise and the smells of the room itself. Just, I'm very sensitive to shit like that. I don't like walking down the laundry detergent aisle in the grocery store because it reeks to me. If I'm with somebody that's wearing heavy perfume, I will have a headache within minutes. So I'm really weird about my surroundings. I don't want to drink anything but well water. That's going to be kind of difficult. I don't want to feel weird about my space. I don't want to spend a fortune on lodging. So I told my husband, let's buy a camper. We could buy a camper because of the way he is. This is how he works. We could buy a camper, tow it across the United States and back, and then resell it for more than he bought it for, because it's just how he rolls. I've watched him do that with so many things. So he bought a camper, but I drive a Chevy Equinox, so we need something to tow the camper. He just drives the service truck because if he's not in the family car, he's going to work. So he bought us a Tahoe to tow the camper. And we packed up and we drove across the northern United States, down the coast of California, and then back across the lower United States, and then east, or up the east. We didn't go on the East Coast. We didn't see the Atlantic Ocean, but we did see the Pacific. But we went up through North Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia. We saw Mount Rushmore. We went to Crater Lake in Oregon. We went to the Redwood Forest. We went to see the sequoias, the sequoia forest. I got these monsters from various locations. They're enormo. My biggest one is up in the window, but I don't want to dig it out because the curtain will fall and then we can't see because of the light shining in. But these are the biggest freaking things I've ever seen. We slept in the middle of the desert in New Mexico, and the sky in the middle of the night with a new moon in the middle of the desert in New Mexico is one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible. And we took our chairs with us, they're like gravity chairs or whatever. Took those and we kicked back and watched the sky. You'd have thought it was a meteor shower. There was so many shooting stars because it's so dark out there. And we just happened upon a pull-off rest area off the interstate, and it had this back corner, and there was no lights back there. So we were like in a completely dark space, It was incredible. We rode an alpine roller coaster, which is a single, Usually, I think they're usually singles. A single seat roller coaster that you control, and it basically it's all uh, they tow you up to the top, and it's twisty and turny, but it's like on a rail, so it's smooth. It's not jerky like a roller coaster can be. And you have you push forward to go, and if you're going too fast and it makes you nervous, you pull back a little bit and it brakes for you. But it was really neat. We did that at 11 o'clock at night in the rain, and it was really fun. We couldn't wait till morning. We paid almost nothing to lodge the whole trip. We hooked into campgrounds twice to refill our water tank and to flush out the sewer. And both times they were camps that were set up with wells. They were out in the middle of nowhere. So I got to maintain my well water. Didn't have to shower in anything gross or drink anything gross. We ate a lot of food. Los Angeles is a shithole. Hollywood is a shithole. I did go down the Hollywood Walk of Fame and got pictures of the Apollo 11 or 13, one or the other, and all the stars for all the stupid astronauts, because of course I did. What else did we do? We were going to go to this observatory in Southern California, but it was closed to the public, and it looked like it was probably not going to reopen. So we didn't get to do that. We were also going to go down to southern Texas, and I was going to visit Teresa. Any of you that know Teresa is often around in my chat. But my son was going to meet a group of his friends down there, and for various reasons, his friends couldn't meet. So Teresa was the only reason that I was going to go to Texas at all. We had nothing scheduled in Texas, so, and we were gone for 18 days, almost 3 weeks. Our plan was to go for 2, but it was very much we'll see what happens, because we own our own business, so we can do that. But you don't want to close your business for that long, especially coming into that time of the year, because we own a tire shop, and we're coming into the time of year where everybody's looking for tires because it's coming in winter. So we don't want to be gone too long. So we ended up skimming right across the top of Texas and going from there. We drove through the Painted Desert, which is beautiful. We went to a place called the Badlands. I don't remember where that was, which state that's in. But that was a wild place, very odd rock formations and very twisty and high and just sketchy AF. Towing a camper and driving thin mountain roads is horrifying. We went on the way up to Crater Lake. The mountain that Crater Lake is on is 8,000 feet. That is a lot. And most of it, there is no guardrail, and you are looking literally a mile down. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. The redwoods are amazing. They're so big. So unbelievably big. I wanted to stop and see the desert plateaus that, are allegedly natural rock formations. But we did not get there. We kind of skipped the middle of the United States because we took a trip to Colorado to meet an internet friend of mine many, many years ago, back in 2010. Did I already say that? And we went through the middle of the United States. So we didn't feel the need to see that again. There's really no need to look at that much corn more than once in your life. It is nothing but empty space and corn. My only real disappointment about the whole trip was that I never got to see a tumbleweed. We did see tumbleweeds when we went to Colorado, but I was driving through the desert looking for tumbleweeds. Didn't get to see any. Blew my mind the first time I saw one. I had no idea that that was an actual thing. I thought that was reserved for, Yosemite Sam on Bugs Bunny. But apparently, no. There is such a thing as tumbleweed, and they roll right across the interstate. Wild. But that was really cool. It was really a good time. We don't go on vacation. We don't go anywhere. We don't do things. We go out to eat once a week to our favorite Mexican place, and there are walking trails around here that we like to go to that go through the woods and stuff. Through the summer, we'll go do stuff like that, but we're not travelers. We don't go places and do things. We're homebodies. That's why I like having my property so much. That's why I love my house and have spent time and effort into doing things like my pond, and my husband redid our bedroom in this tongue and groove pine, and like I like to spend time at home. But it was nice to go on vacation. It was a really good time. I think we're going to hold on to the camper, and we're talking about maybe next fall going up the East Coast. Stop and visit Stacy. I can't think of a reason to go to Maine, so we probably wouldn't go that far, but we had the best donuts that we ever had in the world. I forget where that was. Oh, we went to Sloth Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama. It was like it was a foundry back in like World War One, I think it was. I don't know. Really creepy looking place. Really creepy looking place. It's like indoor outdoor, and it's got a very dungeness kind of vibe to it. We were walking through wondering just how many people have died in there. That's how creepy it was. But see, even that does make me feel better about life in general. It was nice. It was fun. I had a good time. It was nice to see the country that I live in. It was nice to drive through the shithole that is Hollywood. But freaking gas here, when we fueled up to leave, gas here was like $2.85 a gallon. A week later, we're getting gas in California. It's $6.89 a gallon. What? Oh my God. California is such a shithole. It's so distasteful. Oh, we went to Chicago. Not to do anything. We didn't even get out of the truck. We drove through Chicago, though. It is the biggest city I've ever been in, and it was astounding. It was wild. I can't imagine, having gone through Chicago, I can't imagine ever going to New York City. Cannot imagine, because I've seen video of New York City, and I was so freaking stressed out just with the traffic and the people. If it's not cars, it's people, and like everybody walks around like they're fucking blind. Like they're just walking around living their best fucking life, and oh my God, it's horrifying. Horrifying. Coming around corners and traffic lights everywhere, and you can feel the all of the Wi-Fi and the cell phones and just all of the EMF in the air. I could never live in a city. I can't believe people can just live in the fucking city. Oh, and I assume you've all heard, let's go back to the things that are pissing me off. I assume that everybody is completely in the know about this Mondami crap that is going to turn New York further into a shithole. And the thing is, there was actually like 38 Islamic politicians that were put in offices across the country, all at the same time. 38 of them. Who the hell wants to leave their freaking house anymore? Honestly. Unbelievable. Oh my God. Here's another one. Many of you know I have a police scanner, and it's on all the time. I turn it on when I'm making my coffee in the morning, and I turn it off on my way to bed. I'm constantly listening to medic calls and police calls and all the stuff in all my area. The county I live in has an approximate population of 97,000. I hear roughly half to 3/4 of that area on the scanner. The other day, it was one day last week, not too long ago, there was like 9 calls throughout that day for people threatening suicide, for mental evaluations, for threatening suicide, for suicidal ideation. I'm not entirely sure. I'm real clear on the difference between suicidal ideation and wanting to commit suicide. And thoughts of killing oneself in any capacity is just horrifying. There was 9 of them. There was at least 9 of them. And I started counting when they hit like 3 within an hour and a half. And I was like, God, that's like the 3rd call. And so I'm like, I think it was 3. And so I went with 3 and started counting from there. And I didn't spend the whole day within earshot of it. I went outside with the dogs. I did other things. I heard at least 9 calls. And then I started paying attention after that. And there is a notable increase in the last week of suicide. Why? I mean, someone of weaker constitution than mine that's feeling anywhere like I am feeling, I can understand that being a plausible alternative to staying alive and living out this shit show, but I'm sure that can't be what it is. Oh, and the other day, it was yesterday or the day before, 9-year-old having a stroke. 9. A 9-year-old little boy went into seizures. They called out EMS for seizures and then came back and said that the caller said that the seizure stopped, but the whole left side of his face had completely fallen and that it was a possible stroke. It was a stroke. A 9-year-old had a stroke. What in the fuckity fucking fuckers is that? Everything in the whole world. And just when you think it could not be more fucked up, it gets more fucked up. Oh, and how about this 3-eye atlas madness? I was listening to a video yesterday and they were saying that NASA is about to release new pictures and they're trying to whip people into a frenzy about it, and I think they're failing because there's not a whole lot going on about it. And I wonder if they're going to try to pull this whole fake alien invasion, and it's going to be a complete flop. And I mean, back in the 80s, when I was like 10, maybe, I forget what it was that I saw on television. But that was when I started to think about aliens and would talk about aliens with, people, with my mom and family, friends. And I think back in the late 80s, if there was some kind back, even a little bit earlier than that, back when it was Ronald Reagan, I believe, that said that if there was some kind of external threat, that it would bring the world together. I think everybody, the conspiracy minded from that day and age, probably thought that he was about to set shit off. And I think if it had happened then, everybody would have paid attention. But everybody is so desensitized to anything sensational anymore because everything is sensational. Everything is larger than life and in your face and just, ugh. I don't think anybody gives a crap about this three-eye atlas. But I'm curious. I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm curious if they won't get the reaction that they're trying to get, and if it'll just fly on by and not stop, and they'll be like, and no one will give a crap, or if they will actually try to set things off and see if they can make everybody flip a nut. Because it's really not that hard to get people to flip a nut after this EBT crap and the government shutdown. People are flipping nuts like fucking pancakes. Everything's fucked and we're stuck with it. I don't know how there is such a gap in the gas prices. It is absolutely insane. Totally freaking ridiculous. Inexcusable. But California is the holy land, right? Everybody wants to be in California. Jennifer was in New York City in 2006. Total shithole. Worst experience ever. The craziest thing was the whistling police guy directing traffic and the ramming taxis. Back in early 2000s, I would have liked to go to New York just to try to end up in a cash cab because I'd have left with some money. If anybody's not familiar, Cash Cab was a short-lived game show where this guy was in a taxi cab and you would get in and these lights would set off, and then it was a quiz show and you would answer questions. I forget, there was like 5 questions that you answered between where you were and where you were going. And if you got like 2 or 3 wrong, you had to get out of the cab. But the ride was free. So he dropped a lot of people off halfway because they didn't know shit about trivia. I have so much useless knowledge. If I could replace the crap in my brain that is useless knowledge, like almost any song lyric that exists pre 2005, I've got it in here. I've got a Rolodex of song lyrics of every genre, because of course I don't have a specific genre that I like. I like basically all music that I've ever heard. So yeah, that's fun. Why can't that be something useful? Why can't that be where the motivation to go on living lives in my fucking brain? Because I'm telling you what. But I've touched the rains down in Africa, so there's that. The full moon was November 5th. Indeed it was. Today is the new moon. I should absolutely know that. And this morning I was totally like, really? Yeah. Even little girls, 9 years old and 11 years old, sports, died of a heart attack, and they're not even in sports. I mean, there's... I hear an ambulance called up to the elementary school at least once a week. At least once a week. And it's not always for a child. Sometimes it's adults, teachers, office ladies, whatever. But at least once a week, I hear a call to the elementary school that's up around the corner from me. So anyway, I suppose I'm about done. That was a cup of coffee's worth. I just need, I don't know, something. I need something. And I don't know what. But it's only going to get worse. We're headed into the darkest time of the year. Yay. And now they're saying that our winter is going to be this complete shit show and that we should get way below normal temperatures and way above average snowfall. So I will be found in a window sipping hot chocolate watching it snow because I'm not going anywhere. And we just bought half a cow, so my freezer is full of meat. My pantry's full of food. Got toilet paper, lots of toilet paper. Anyway, I hope you all hold it together and don't succumb to your depression. I think I'm going to try to find a reason to come around more. I always feel better after I talk to y'all. But, alright, I'm going to bail. Where's my stuff? There it is. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go. So, thanks for hanging out with me. And I love you. And you know it's true. See you next time.